process of decluttering is an emotional one. It will bring you through a type of, I want to say, like deliverance. You're going to experience so many different feelings and emotions, frustration, guilt, shame, anger, and it is messy. So here's some tips to help make it easier. Number one, find a room or a garage or a space that you are saying you're going to use this area, this room, this space to put the stuff you don't want. We're going to categorize. So if you have a large closet or an empty bedroom or a garage, this is going to be that space. What you're going to do is you're going to put things in different categories. We'll start with the process of elimination with the stuff that you know you don't care about. This is you don't really have to think twice. It's the junk. It's the get rid of, the overused, the miscellaneous, the cords, the things that you could just donate without even caring. Okay, that's your Goodwill pile. The stuff that you're going to drop off to Goodwill. Goodwill will recycle. They'll sort, they'll go through. So old towels, shirts with stains, holes, mismatched socks, things that if you have electronics, put those in a separate pile, because you can take old electronics and old batteries to like a Best Buy recycle drop-off or an electronic drop-off. You could also take the electronics to Goodwill, but like batteries and things like that, you don't want to just throw those away. But all the miscellaneous things, like old gift bags that are torn up or used, they've been reused, this is the stuff that you know without a doubt, you don't have to think twice, it's not that hard, you can just get rid of. So in this room or in this space, you'll have one pile for that, then you're going to have a pile of stuff that you'd like to sell. Keep this clothes with tags, things that are over, that you can make $100 or more on. Don't mess around with the things that are $5 or $10, it's cheap, it's nice. Those you don't need to worry about selling unless you want to do a garage sale, which you totally can, and try to recoup some of that money. I know a lot of people, they'll do a big garage sale and then whatever they don't sell, they'll donate, which is a great option as well. It can help you recoup all kinds of stuff. So if that's you, then do that first. Try to do a garage sale, sell everything, do it over like a 2-day period, sell what you can, and you can even put a box of the free stuff to entice people to come in, and you could say all this stuff is free, that's the stuff that you would have normally donated to Goodwill. The goal is to have a separate space other than your living space, so you're not getting overwhelmed by the clutter. You're moving it to a different location, like a garage or a basement or a spare bedroom or a large closet, to where it's not in the way. Because what that's going to do is it's going to help you feel, number one, you're making some progress, you're separating what you want with what you don't want. And it's not just reminding you and sitting there in piles in your living room or whatever. So that is key. If you choose not to do a garage sale, or you're in an area where it's just not going to work, or you're in an apartment and you can't do one, then the stuff that you can donate to Goodwill, the junk, this is the stuff that could be recycled or whatever, load that in your car and get it out as quickly as possible. Take as many loads as you need to as you go through this process to donate. Get it out of the house. Don't let it sit there and pile up. Ugh, big old wasp, you guys saw that. Don't let it pile up. The stuff that you can sell, that's larger pieces, if you have access to an eBay, OfferUp, local Facebook Marketplace, if you choose to do that, or if you know friends, hey, I'm selling this this chair or this mirror. These are your larger scale items that can possibly bring in some money. Try to you're throwing the hook out there to see if anybody, is going to grab a hold, and see what you can sell while you're decluttering and purging and donating more. You've got things kind of posted already. So you're allowing some time and you're maximizing that time. So as you're purging, things are there's an option for you to make a little bit of money. Now, if they don't sell and you're like, I just need to get rid of this stuff, your other pile is going to be things that you donate to a cause. You're intentionally donating to either like a women's shelter or a men's house, men who are maybe they've been out of prison and they're trying to rebuild their life and they need nice clothes for jobs or things like that. You can foster kids that are aging out of the foster care system. There's places, I know around Phoenix there's some places, and I like to donate because they're often forgotten. And when they do age out, they need things like, a coffee pot or pots and pans, like things that you need for your home, towels and bed sheets. This is the good quality items that aren't stained up, don't have holes, that can be reused to bless somebody. Nice clothes, clothes that you wore when you were in corporate world that you no longer wear, shoes that are still decent. And I always like to go through, fold things nice, wash them. I wouldn't put them in like garbage bags. These are the things you're going to use bins for and nice boxes for. You're going to fold the clothes, socks that match. There are companies that take bras. You can ship your bras if they're nice and new, and they will give them to women who need them. Things like that. So sheets, towels, textiles, household goods, items that are useful, that are clean, not chipped up, not scratched up. These are useful items that are still good and they can still get some use out of them. Kids that are, getting an apartment after college, a lot of times they need wall art or, just, pillow covers, pillow inserts, things like that. Don't give your old nasty stuff when you're blessing with intention. Use the old nasty stuff to either give the freebies, Goodwill. You can even give towels and things to animal shelters. They always need old towels and old blankets for the pets. So you're utilizing a space that's separate from your living, separate from your everyday, and you're categorizing. Donate, sell, junk. Those are your 3 categories. And when you go through this, the more that and I like to take progress pictures too. Like I would be like, man, you'll not believe how much random stuff in one drawer that you could pull out, or one cabinet. I mean, I've pulled out things that I'm like, I got an old plastic organizer, cords that don't go to anything, old paper clips or gift bags or office supplies that I don't use, a bunch of staples to a stapler I no longer had, just things that just add up, sunglasses that are scratched. So this is like your random stuff. That stuff, free, you're giving, you're bringing to Goodwill, let them recycle it. Batteries, find a battery place for it. Old papers. So if you have a lot of old papers and you're like, what do I do with all those old papers and mail? There are companies that you can take them to shred, like a Staples or an Office Max. You can drop off all old papers, mail, magazines, things that can be shredded and recycled, which is a great option, so you're not throwing all that paper in the landfill and you're not leaving all of your personal information out there. So you're doing it with intention. And if you need, put labels on the wall, put like a piece of paper and write Goodwill or trash, or Goodwill or free, battery recycle or electronic recycle, maybe Best Buy or someplace like that, paper recycle service. So you're categorizing it in these piles. Nice donations. And if you have stuff that you're kind of not sure about, but you don't love and you're kind of waiting, put that in this pile of the sell or the maybe pile. Because if you can get something for it, great. If not, you may just notice at the end of this process or towards the end, you don't even care anymore. You're like, I'm just going to donate this. What you think you love, normally once you go through this process, you don't really love, you don't miss it. And the weight that you're under when you're keeping it all, once that's lifted, you're going to be like, okay, it's so much easier as the time passes when you continue on this process. If you have expired medicine and things like that, you could put pills in old coffee grounds. Medicine cabinets can get super old. Makeup. So many people have drawers in bathrooms full of half-used makeup and products. Now, if you have travel size products that are new, those are really useful at homeless shelters. You can give those, bag them up, and drop them off at a homeless shelter because they always need the little travel soaps or the shampoos. This is things that aren't used, that are, they might take used large items and put them in small bottles for people who are there. I don't see why not. But you could give those hygiene products, if they're not expired, they're not rancid, and they're still good. Shampoos, soaps, body washes, even toothbrushes that are new, or flosses, or just an overabundance that you really don't need anymore. Homeless shelters are perfect places for that. They might even take towels and sheets and bedding, but you have to find something that's really dear to your heart. If you have young kids and you have baby clothes or diapers or wipes or formula that's not expired, you can give it to a nonprofit women's place, that takes care of and helps women in their pregnancy journey. They also do usually take toys, nice toys. I know places that will take gifts for Christmas and books, nice kids' books. Again, they're not ones with ripped pages and crusty boogers on them. You're going to wipe these. They're nice books, nice art supplies, or things that you just might have access of that can go to a place that serves kids in the community. The goal is you're giving into your community in tangible ways. Every community has places that are in need of some type of donation. And it does take a little bit more time to sort through and say, okay, these are going to go here, these are going to go there. But you feel so much better because you're giving with intention. You're not just tossing it and you're not just leaving it at the curb. You're giving it with intention. So allow yourself this space and this time to go through and give things with that type of intention, because you're blessing on purpose. Shoes, kids' shoes, socks, so many things can go to these places in your local community. So search around in your local community, something that might be dear to your heart. Sow into that. This is how God uses your access and your abundance to bless others in your community. If you're part of a local church, a lot of times there's families in your local church that are in need. There's a lot of churches have their own little shops, like a clothing closet or a food pantry in the church that allows families who are struggling to get canned goods and get food. That's a great place to unload your pantry stuff, extra things that you don't need. It's a great place to give clothes, shoes, men's items, just anything that can be repurposed. That's going to be your goal. So as you are liberating yourself from the weight of your accumulation, you are giving. If you have books, local libraries you can donate to, or if you have those places called like the Little Blue Library. I have a video about this, like last month I talked about, where in Phoenix there's Little Blue libraries. They're like these little basically it's like a large mailbox, and it's in front. They have like, I don't know how many all over. They have them at little parks, and they'll have them in little locations or kind of communities or neighborhoods that aren't the best, lower kind of income communities. But what I used to do is I would put a bag or a box of books in the back of the car, and I would drive and I would look on the little map. You can look like Little Blue Library or whatever it's called in your area. And I would make sure I would pass by one, and I would bring Clorox wipes on my way, because most of them are dusty and dingy and they're old. And what I would do is I would purposely pass by one. I would go stop in front, clean out the books, because sometimes people put naughty stuff in there that's very inappropriate. So I would pull the naughty stuff out to throw away. That's trash. You got naughty stuff, you know what I'm talking about? That's your garbage. Don't donate junk and terrible things. So I would pull those out, I would wipe it clean, and then I would restock it with a blend of some self-help books, investment books, and some kids' books and kids' things. And sometimes I would put like a little stuffed animal in there or whatever. And one day I was driving away and I saw this lady and her son, and they came and they pulled out a little book that had like a little truck book or something. And there's wasps everywhere. And they pulled it out and they were super happy, because they probably, to them that's exciting. Let's go see what's in the box today. Let's go see what's in the Little Blue Library. So you're sowing into your community while you're on your way to the grocery store, while you're on your way somewhere. So when you weave these things and this type of behavior into your life, what it does, it almost like turns on a light bulb in you to look for places to bless, to look for people to bless. Sometimes I would drive around with canned food in my car, and I'm not kidding, the Holy Spirit would say, pull over right here. I'd go around, and there's a park with people, not always canned food, but like, granola bars or like wrapped food, pantry food, I guess is what I'm saying. And I would pull over, and there would be homeless people, and I would hand it out and say, here's some snacks and here's some stuff that I would have in my car. And so I was prepared to be used as a blessing. I was preparing myself for the opportunity to do something good while I'm on my way to do what I have to do. This is like the story in the Bible about the Good Samaritan, where people are always busy, they're always heading somewhere, they're always going somewhere, but that one person stopped on his way going somewhere to help the person in need. So this is another video I talked about why you don't want to be rushed everywhere, because you miss those opportunities to bless when you're rushed and when you're like, I got to get there, and you're not focused on anything around you. there's a time to be focused, but I'm talking about missing an opportunity to bless someone or something while you're, going to where you got to go. So if you weave these things into your life, that'll do is it'll trigger a behavioral pattern that's going to put you in a generosity kind of frequency, a rhythm. It's going to put you in a giving mode, which subconsciously tells your mind you have enough. It tells your mind you're taken care of, you have enough, you have an abundance, there's plenty to give, there's enough for everybody, there's more to go around. And what that does is it triggers more of a flow back into your life. When we hold on and we hoard things, you're telling yourself, I don't have enough. I can't let this go. I have a fear of the future or a fear of letting this thing go because I might need it. You're stuck. And what that does is you're continuously telling yourself you're stuck. You're stuck in this season, you're stuck in this house, you're stuck with this clutter, and you're blocking. You have to unkink your own hose. And to do that, it starts with ungripping. It starts with letting go. Letting go, you'll be okay. The fear of thinking that you might possibly need this thing for a future time is stopping you from living. 100%. So letting things flow to you and through you puts you in and it also calms your nervous system because you're not in fear. You're in faith. Fear and faith can't function at the same time all the time. You're either doing one or the other. So this movement of faith and giving and being generous is signaling, God, I trust you. There's plenty to give around. There's plenty, and I can be used to bless others with how you've blessed me. I can be a vessel, not just a stagnant water hole, but the water is flowing, and therefore you're refreshing the community around you. Your little acts might make a huge difference for somebody. This will change your life. It's a life-altering move. So start with, and if you have a spouse, a lot of people ask, well, what about my spouse? They don't want to do it. Okay, this is a tough one. Because I deal with the same thing, if you know what I mean. If you have a spouse and they don't want to let go of that one thing, or they get really defensive, that's my stuff, leave it alone. Why you gotta touch it? I might need that. Just in case, hold on to it. You have to practice on little things. Hey, honey, what do you think about this? And hit them with facts. You haven't used this in a couple years. It's been sitting in the drawer. Can I let it go? And see how they respond. And you almost have to keep trying this move over and over with something small, because they're never going to be able to let go of something big, especially something expensive or that they spent money on, if they don't let go of something small. But don't give up on them. Keep trying a little at a time. And if you've gotten rid of all of your stuff, and you realize there's so much stuff and my spouse doesn't want to get rid of it, you might just have to start doing it and get it done and get it going. And sometimes you do know what's best. I mean, a lot of times. And start getting that process going. And they might notice, wow, this is actually making my wife happier or my spouse happier. And it's changing our dynamics of our family, because we're going from hoarding and holding on to letting go and letting life flow, and we can all breathe properly because we're not holding on to everything. There are some things that I do like to have a stock up on. Like, I like to have water in the house. We live in the desert. I like to have toilet. There are things that you get a sense of security when you have frozen meats in the freezer. That's just being practical and storing things for your family. Having frozen, when meat's on sale, you buy 2 of them. When the canned goods that you do eat are on sale, you buy 2 of them. Having a little bit of a stockpile is not a bad idea. So I'm not necessarily talking about not having anything and just, but there is a difference with storing your daily bread. Buying too much, like if you are like, I'm going to buy so much produce and you're not going to use it, it'll probably go to waste, because you're thinking you're storing too much of what's going to mold or rot. This is why God says, give me this day my daily bread. And back in the Bible, when he gave manna from heaven to the Israelites, it stopped flowing when they started storing it. And that wasn't part of the deal. You're not going to store this. And it went rotten and moldy. So there's a balance. Yes, be practical, have this is like your emergency fund. Dave Ramsey talks about having your $1,000 emergency fund set aside. That's just being wise and being practical. But we can go so far past that where we start holding on to every little thing because of fear of the future or fear of letting it go. You've already spent the money on it. It's already gone. So you have to get past that. And you learn from it. You're like, okay, well, I already spent the money on this thing that I didn't use. We'll start using it. If you're not going to use it, lose it. Get rid of it. So if you have something that you've never used before that you think I might use this, I know people who had bought fitness equipment that they've never used. We'll start using it. At least get something out of it first before you give it away, because it does take the sting away, sometimes. Books that you've never read. Well, if you haven't read them, either read it or get rid of it, because books are heavy, they're clunky, they take up a ton of space, unless you are a book lover and you have a library. But if they're just stacks under the bed, in the drawers, things that you have, it takes up space, and they're heavy to move. I used to have to move my husband's books everywhere. I gotta find a spot for these, I gotta find a spot for these, and finally I'm like, I'm getting rid of all of these. You're not gonna read them, you already read these, or this half you didn't read, I'm getting rid of it, and I did. He's got a stack and it fits in a cabinet, and that's it. More than that, if it doesn't fit in that space, this is the container method. If it doesn't fit in that one shelf, get rid of it. So you could utilize that method as you go through and say, I've got a bookshelf where all the books are piling off. Say, I'm gonna do half of the bookshelf with books or whatever. If it doesn't fit, it goes. And start that process, and you'd be surprised. You'll go back multiple times. Well, I guess I don't really need this one. Oh, I guess I don't really need this one. And I had to do that multiple times with things, with books, with clothes, even 10 times sometimes. And by the 10th time, I was getting rid of things that I thought at the beginning I would never let go of, because it got easier. So I encourage you, listen to these videos as much as you need to keep yourself pumped up and keep yourself in that mindset when you start getting discouraged. Remember, if it doesn't serve you, if you're not using it, if it's taking up space, you're not going to start using it by shoving it in a closet somewhere or storing it somewhere. You get in the mindset that you want to live, and look at the things, the clutter and the overaccumulation, as that's holding you back from being your highest self, because it usually is. It's part of the whole big picture, but it is a large part. When we free ourselves and our environment starts to give us space to breathe. Some people, you don't need a larger home. You don't need more bins or more space. Usually you just need less stuff. So go get it. Go get on it. Don't go get those organizers. Go get it, start tackling your space, and you're gonna feel great. And thanks for tuning in.